Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the brand new Soul Funko Pops. These Pops are of course from the upcoming Disney Pixar film, Soul, and I think the film looks really good, so I'm very excited for these Pops. Now I am a little bit let down about a couple of them, and just a few things about them, but I'm going to go over all of that in this video, and if you don't know how my ranking videos work, for each Pop I give them a score out of 5, then a total score for this video out of 20, which will then convert over to a percent mark, and I will also let you know my want list for the wave, and then I will let you know my final verdict as well. And if you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave it a like and also subscribe to the channel, because there are a ton of Toy Fair Funko reveals right now, so there's going to be a ton of videos coming out on the channel, so stay tuned for all of that. And keep in mind, for these rankings, everything I say in this video is just my personal opinion, so you might not agree with what I'm saying, but just keep that in mind as well. And let's get straight into it here with number 4. Alright, at number 4 here we have the character 22, who is voiced by Tina Fey. Now, I had to look up the names of actually both of the characters revealed in these Funko Pops, because I didn't hear their names in the trailer, so I wasn't sure what their names were, to be honest. So I'm not super familiar with these characters, of course. I don't think anyone really is, because there aren't many like trailers or anything for the film yet. But for the design here, it definitely has an Inside Out vibe for sure. And this one is the angry version of the character, at least from what I can tell here, because there is another version of this one, and I think it's fine. I don't really like it when they make two versions of the same character, where it's just a slight change in like pose and expression. So this one's not bad per se, but compared to the other one in the ranking, I think it's falling a little short here, and I think it just goes back to Funko making too many versions of the same character. But I do like how this one's in a floating pose here, and how they have their finger out there and they look like they're accusing like someone of something, so kind of a unique one here. And I do like the kind of little bits of color going on the head there, almost like there's like energy pulsing through their form, so I find that kind of unique. So definitely a cool character design here, and for this one I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And now let's move on to number 3. Okay, so here we have 22. This is the standard, more happy version of the character. I'm not sure if both of them will be common Pops. We don't really have a lot of information on these ones, but for the most part, I think this one's pretty cool. Same sort of pose with the finger there, now I'm noticing that. And just letting you know, as I'm doing these Toy Fair videos, I'm noticing stuff as I'm filming them, because I want to try to get the videos out as soon as I can for all of you, but I don't want to like rush through it too much. But it's kind of like my first reactions here to most of the Pops, just kind of looking at them more in depth. And for this one, I kind of like the purple as well, with the eyebrows there, and the little bit of, I don't even know what you would call that, like the eyelid almost above the character's eyes there. And I like the mouth as well, with the light blue in there. Definitely adds some difference in color with the standard, I don't even know what you would call their main color scheme here. It looks like a very like almost, I don't know, like a really dyed out green color, I suppose, and I think that's kind of cool. I wonder if it'll be maybe a little translucent. I don't know, probably not, but maybe we'll get a specific version like that. But for the most part, I like this design better than the previous one. I just prefer the expression going on in this one. That comes down to all personal taste here, but for this one I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. And now let's move on to number 2. Alright, so here we have Joe Gardner, and this one is that sort of soul version going on here, and I think that it's a pretty unique design here. I definitely like this one a little bit more than 22's, because as you'll see in the next spot in the ranking, there's the sort of like alive version of the character. This is basically like the ghost version here, but I think they'll probably call it more of a soul version because it's meant to be your soul, of course. So I do like that because then you can have both versions side by side. Of course, with 22, they can't do that because we don't know what that character's human form looks like, but from this one, I think it looks really fantastic. I like the smirk there, or the smile going on. Seems pretty happy considering he's basically dead, but still a very cute design here. Definitely a really cool one. So for this one, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. And now let's move on to number 1. So here at the top we have Joe Gardner, his alive version here, and I just put this one at the top because I feel like it's the character that from the first trailer I'm the most familiar with and I have the most connection with. And from what I've seen from 22 in the trailer, I don't know, the character, I just don't know a lot about them, so I don't really have that connection yet, but I feel like more of a connection with Joe, and I think this design just looks really cool here. I really like his kind of smirk going on there. It definitely looks cool side by side with the soul version of him. They're in like the same sort of pose going on, so I do like that. So that's why I kind of vibe more with these ones. I think that it'll be cooler to have both of them side by side, and I just think overall it's a really cool design here. So for this one, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And now let's move on to my want list for the wave. Alright, so for this wave here, there are actually no Pops that I want to pick up at the moment, and that's mainly because I haven't seen the film yet, and I haven't even seen that many trailers from it as well, so I don't really know a lot about the characters or the plot of it or what's kind of going on with them, so that's why I kind of want to just wait until I can get more information or just see the film for myself, and then my opinions might change at some point, which I'm sure I'll update you with that if I wind up picking any of them up when they come out. I'm sure they'll be in a whole video in the future, but for now I'm not going to put any on my want list because I don't want to jump the gun here without really knowing what the characters are all about here. But that's it for my want list here, and now let's go over my final score for the wave. In conclusion here, this wave scored out of 20 a 14, and that converts over to 70%, so I feel like that's a pretty good score here considering I don't really know much about the characters. I think that the designs on their own are still very unique. They do have a bit of an inside out vibe to them, but I still really like the designs, and I don't necessarily think that's really a bad thing because Inside Out has some really fantastic designs and like similar story points going on, so I think that it's really creative here and definitely some really unique characters going on here. So a really cool lineup overall. I don't really have too much more to say here, but now I'm going to throw it over to all of you. Be sure to let me know your rankings for all of these Funko Pops in the comment section down below. I'm always curious to hear how our lists kind of differ from each other. And also, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave it a like and also subscribe if you want to see more of my content, because there are going to be a ton of Toy Fair videos going up on the channel, so if you want to stay tuned for those, then be sure to subscribe and also maybe hit the notification bell if you want to know when the videos get posted. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.